Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to daily PMP class. So today we will be discussing 10 exam-like questions. So let me just share my screen and then we will start. All right, so let's start question number 1. All right, some of you have joined for the first time, so please answer directly to me, not to everyone. Okay. Beth, you have chosen option B.
Yes. Yep, just going through. I don't know if it's time to do the root cause analysis, but we definitely need to update the risk register. And because we don't know the impacts, convening a meeting and deciding on the next step seemed like a really good response. And then I looked at the next ones, analyzed the failure and trigger fallback plan, and I don't think we have one based on the question. And then D seemed good, but B had identified it as a risk instead of an issue, and since it was called a risk in the question, I went with B.
All right, thank you. Robin, you have chosen option D.
Yes, a tricky question, and I'm still not sure if I'm correct. But in the end, I decided that we need to find an alternative, which would be the best next thing to do. So that's why I chose to update the issue log and then to analyze alternatives available.
All right, thank you. Laila, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, so you were told that the project is at, the rest that it happened, right? So whatever they had a mitigation, it did not take it did not apply. So and then you are aware that this project schedule a significant slippage. It's gonna fall behind. That's telling me. So what I have to do in this case, I mean, conducting a root cause analysis, I already know that my project is at risk, right? Update the ESC register. So, I mean, just by updating, what's the next step I need to guide my whole team here? So I think I would analyze the failure and then plan a fallback plan. What are we going to do next? Like, we know that the project schedule slipped. What's next action, right? So that's why I went with C.
All right, thank you, everybody. So let's read the question. So it says you're managing a large infrastructure project and a critical risk related to supplier delays has just materialized. A critical risk related to supplier delays has just materialized. So remember, we update the issue log when something that is occurred was not a risk before, means was not documented. If an unknown risk is materialized, then we update the issue log. So we don't know it was an unknown risk, and it says a critical risk related to supplier delay. It means it was already identified. So if an identified risk is materialized, we don't update the issue log because we have already documented the issue, the event in risk register. So we update the risk register and we add data in risk register. There is no need to update issue log. So we can easily eliminate D option here. It says the risk response plan you had in place has failed to mitigate the impact, causing significant schedule slippage. The project team is looking for your guidance on how to predict what should you do next. Now, option A, conduct a root cause analysis and update the risk management plan. Now, what is risk management plan? Risk management is collection of policies and procedures, right? So what's the point of updating processes and policies? So there is nothing wrong with the process. You understand, everybody? So no need to update processes and policies. So we can easily eliminate option A as well, right? Now option B and option C. Option B says update the risk register, convene a risk review meeting and decide on next step. Looks like a good option. If we read C, it says analyze the failure. So first you analyze the situation and then trigger the fallback plan. Now what is fallback plan? Fallback plan is plan B. So whenever your plan A or primary risk response fails, the very next thing that you do is you analyze the situation and trigger the fallback plan. There was a comment by Beth that we are not sure if we have fallback plan. If in the option it says trigger the fallback plan, it means we have fallback plan. That's why they're mentioning it. Otherwise, there is no need to mention it. So correct answer is option C. When plan A fails, we implement plan B. That plan B is called fallback plan. So C is correct answer. Let's read the explanation. Next question. All right, Mohan, you have chosen option A.
Yeah, I picked option A because in the question it says, right, you're a project manager of a community. There is a positive outcome to the results. The stakeholder eager to share the results, build a broader public to trust, and encourage future participation. So I think the keyword here was encouraging future participation from the local residents. And I thought, B, C, B and D are basically like these push messages, right? Push communication. A was the only one where you are organizing a series of meeting to present the results. I'm assuming that this is face to face, so encouraging participation from the audience.
All right, thank you, Mohan. Okay, Robin thinks something else. Robin, you have chosen option D. You're not happy with face-to-face meeting. Why?
Well, if the choice was mine, I would use all the options to advertise the success.
Okay.
But I was sort of stuck between B and D to get the broadest audience to advertise to. And
Okay.
out of the two, I chose D.
Right. So you're saying it's broader audience, right? That's why you have chosen option D. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, so most of you have chosen A or D. So let's read the question. It says you are the project manager for a community development project that has recently achieved significant positive outcome. Stakeholders are eager to share these results with the broader public to build trust, showcase the success, and encourage future participation. What is the best way to keep the public informed about the positive outcome of the community project? So remember, when you have large audience, right, it's not possible to have face-to-face meetings. So as Robin mentioned, we will be using mass media for this. And the only option that we have here for mass media is option D, that is use social media and local news channel to share updates and success stories, right? All other options are incorrect. So if we have, for example, if you're talking to stakeholders like customer, or we are talking about, let's suppose, internal stakeholders, team members, functional groups, PMOs, right? Vendors, contractors, then we can go with series of meetings. And also publishing a report, that's the least effective option. And we have been discussing this again and again. Simply sending a report that nobody would read. So that's the least effective method, right? So the best thing is use social media and local news channel to share updates to broader audience, right? Let's read the explanation. So there's a very good comment in the chat. It says, are we assuming everyone has access to social media? Some people. So we are using social media and local news channel, assuming in a sense like majority of the people would get access to this communication, because reaching to each and every individual might not be possible, right? So we want to do maximum work as much as possible, right? So if we use these two channels, then most of the people would be covered, right? So we are not assuming everybody would be using social media. All right, next question. All right, Robin, you have chosen option C and E.
Yes, I considered there that proprietary technology is probably the most important one out of the 5 options. And also the schedule. You know, if we've got a schedule to meet, so the vendor's timeline needs to align with the schedule. The other options have got some substance, but I felt that C and E are the most important.
All right. Thank you, Robin. Beth, you have chosen option B and D.
Yep. I'm sorry. I would have done B and E. Cost and schedule are the things that stuck out to me. So I was going to do B and E.
All right, B and E. Thank you. Right. Anton, you have chosen option B and E.
Yeah, I've chosen the same option. I thought since B being the cost and E being the timeline would represent like two sides of our project triangular where scope is also playing the big role. So that's why I thought like cost and time would be two biggest factors to influence the decision.
All right. Thank you. Mohan, you have chosen option A and D.
Yeah, I was not too sure about this one, but basically, what are the two most important factors that would prevent you from outsourcing part of the work? I mean, I agree with the first one where C is definitely, if you have a proprietary technology and you don't want to outsource it, so that's one for sure. For the second one, I mean, most of the other ones you can probably have a managed through risk management, right? But I felt like A was more of an issue where if you have a lack of control of the quality of the deliverable, how would you actually verify and validate that deliverable? So that was the reason why I chose A.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for explanation. So let's read the question. It says you are evaluating whether to outsource a portion of your project's work to an external vendor. Before making a decision, you must consider the most critical factors that could influence your choice. What are the two most important factors that could prevent you from outsourcing part of the work? Means two factors where we cannot compromise, right? Two factors where we cannot compromise. So option C, the work involves sensitive information or proprietary technology. So yes, we won't be compromising. If we have sensitive information, right, or proprietary technology, so we will be very cautious, so we can't compromise on this. Now, let's talk about option A, lack of control over quality of the deliverable. So as a buyer, my concern is to have a product that fulfills the quality requirement. Even during the development, if I don't have control, I'm okay with that. You understand? Because I'm concerned with the quality of the final product. I'm not concerned with the control that I would be having during the development. You understand, everybody? My concern is the product that I would be getting at the end, it should fulfill the quality requirements, even if I don't have the control, right? So you can compromise it, so you can simply exclude it, A. The cost of outsourcing exceeds the internal cost. So if you do it internally, you will be saving money. If you do it externally, it would be slightly costlier. So sometime, for example, when we are busy doing other important stuff, we intentionally outsource to just stay focused. Then cost is not a problem for us, right? So to do more important things, we intentionally outsource things which are not important, right? So normally what we do, organizations divide their work in two categories. We call them core and periphery. So core is the work that gives competitive advantage to the organization. They don't outsource that. Periphery is a work that is related work, which could be outsourced, right? So if we are focusing on core and we are outsourcing periphery, we are perfectly fine with it. So we can compromise on cost as well because we are focusing on core product work. Now, option D, the work is a part of your core functionality that gives you a strategic advantage. So this is what we are discussing, this one. We don't compromise on our core functionality. So if your main business is, let's suppose, developing software, right? You won't be outsourcing software development because this is the only thing that gives you competitive advantage. If you outsource this, then you would be losing the race. So companies, what they do not outsource their core functionalities. So same is the concept that I have just explained, core versus periphery. So these equally important. Option E, the vendor's timeline doesn't align with the product schedule. Yes, this is important, but still there is a flexibility. If vendor says that I can't do that according to this timeline, you have to adjust your plan because your plan should be realistic. It's not like that once you develop the plan, then you don't have any regard to vendor's timeline. So due to some reasons, if product component can't be delivered according to your schedule, then you update your schedule. So E is wrong. So correct answer is option C and D. organizations do not compromise on sensitive information or proprietary technology, and also they keep the core functionalities to themselves so that they have competitive advantage. So correct answer is option C and D. Let's read the explanation. Next question. All right, Mohan, you have chosen option D.
Sorry, I picked the wrong number, but I'm going with the
Yes,
sponsor, which is
yes. Second, Mohan has chosen option B. Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, the sponsor is ultimately accountable for the outcome of the project, right? So it's not the customer, and project manager basically manages team, and the stakeholders obviously have intrinsic stake in the program, but sponsor is accountable for the
All right, thank you. Vivek, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, so if the expected returns are not getting, so the entire team, including stakeholders, so stakeholders include sponsors and customer project manager, everyone is responsible. So it's not like failure or responsibility of one person. It's team's responsibility.
So everyone is responsible for this failure.
Yeah. So yeah, stakeholders
Wonderful.
includes everyone. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So let's read the question. Question says, despite the successful completion of the project, means project is successfully completed. When we say successful completion of the project, means it is delivered according to the time, budget, and scope and quality constraints, right? That's why we call it successful project. So despite the product or project is successful, the organization is not seeing the expected return on investment. So the problem is with ROI. Now remember, we divide project-related work in 3 different sections, if you recall: pre-project work, and post-project work. So all the business value and everything that is documented in pre-project work, at that time, we don't have any project manager. And value is realized once the project is over, or once the project is handed over, or once the project is in operation. Project manager has nothing to do with pre-project work and post-project work. Primary responsibility of project manager is to successfully complete the project, which is done in this case. So we can simply eliminate project manager, right? Who is primarily responsible for this outcome? Making sure that project realizes business value, that's the job of project sponsor. So project sponsor takes care of the business side of the project. So correct answer is option B. It has nothing to do with customer, and as I explained, project manager has nothing to do with it. So all stakeholders can't be the right answer. So correct answer is option B. Let's read the explanation. Next question. All right, Beth, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of the servant leadership, or a PM, right? A servant PM, removing obstacles and letting them do their job without distraction. The other ones are, well, not so much A. B and D are really good options, but again, I think the definition of servant leadership is the removal of obstacles and distractions.
All right, thank you. Suhas, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, the reason I chose option D because the team is looking for a guidance on how to achieve their best performance, uh, and that is where how as a Scrum Master, what are the guidance we can give? That's the question I understood here. So option A looks to be, it's a generic, right? Adhere to some process and guidelines. It may not, it should be, but it may not help us to get the best performance. Team set their clear objective. It is anyways, again, that is going to be not really the right thing, right? Because objective and goals for the project is not just set by the team, it's product owner sometimes, together set that. Remove the obstacle, yes, it's a part of it, but not really helps you in increasing the performance. I felt is the D is because the decision, if you do it with self-organization, it will help the team to do the performance.
All right, thank you. Robin, you have chosen option A.
I considered that the team would need to have a continued process of performance. And I didn't think that, setting objectives, removing obstacles, or option D actually fitted with that. But option A does. So that's why I chose option A.
All right, thank you, everybody. So if we read the question, it says, what is the primary job of a servant leader, right? Primary. Now, all the actions which are mentioned here, A, B, C, D, they are done by Scrum Masters or servant leaders, but we're talking about what's the primary job, right? So option A, to ensure the team adheres to the Scrum process and guidelines. Yes, Scrum Masters, they do that. They make sure team follow the process, but that's not the primary job, right? Because servant leaders are more into self-organization, as you could see in option C. So rather than they making sure team follows the process, team is self-organized and they follow the process. So A can't be the right answer. Option B, to help team set clear objective and goals for the project. Again, team is self-organized, right? They do their work themselves. All the stakeholders, relevant stakeholders like product owner and Scrum Master, they assist in the process. But again, that's not the primary function. Even product owner can do that. And most of the time, product owner, they define the product vision by developing vision statement with the help of customer. So B can't be the right answer. Now C and D. C is to remove obstacle and keep the team safe from distraction. And D is to let the team make decision through self-organization. Now, D seems like very attractive option, but if we carefully read, it means servant leader has nothing to do, right? Servant leader just let the team do whatever they want to do. That's not the primary job of a servant leader, right? That's a way to manage self-organized teams or teams in Agile, but that's not the job. So for example, if I'm a servant leader, I'm letting team do whatever they want, then what exactly I would be doing? You understand, everybody? If everything is being done by the team through self-organization, means as a servant leader, I have nothing to do. So D can't be the right answer. Although self-organization is one of the ways through which teams are managed, this is a way or a tool to handle teams. But the primary job of a servant leader is to remove obstacles and provide a conducive environment which is free from distraction to team. So team members are working, they are self-organized, But at the same time, what servant leader is doing, they are removing obstacles and making sure that overall environment is conducive and there are no distractions. That's the fundamental job of a servant leader. So correct answer is option C. Let's read the explanation. All right, so Has, you want to say something quickly, please?
Yeah, right. If you the question was basically the team was asking for a guidance, right? So when we ask for a guidance, removing obstacle is something definitely a Scrum Master will do. But if team is asking for a guidance, will they not, as a guidance, I say, team, you need to take a decision which will help you in doing a better performance, right? So that's a kind of a guidance. That's why I felt option C is better.
Yeah, so option D, which is let the team do. So you're not guiding actually. So even in option D, you're not guiding. The main question is what's the primary job of servant leader? So sometimes you have information in the question, but you should focus on what is being asked in the question, right? So the thing which is being asked in the question is what's the primary job of a servant leader? What should a servant leader do? So a servant leader should remove obstacle and keep the team safe from distraction. So this is how the work is managed. None of the option is where servant leader is, interfering in the affairs of the team. So what you are saying is team is requesting for guidance. So none of the option is talking about that. Even D is not talking about guidance, right? In C, still you're doing something. In D's, you're not doing anything, right? So the option where you do nothing, that can't be the right answer. So Has, you understand?
Yeah, right, I got it.
All right, next question. All right, Vivek, you have chosen option D.
Yes, so we are looking for the required level of accuracy for estimating for a definitive estimates. So option A, B, and C, the cost management plan, nothing to do with that. Contingency reserve also not related to anything related to estimates. Option C and D kind of near, but if we have like concrete basis of estimate on what basis we have defined basis of estimates, then it's easy to come to the definitive estimate. So that's the more accurate and appropriate.
All right, thank you. Robin, you have chosen option C.
I was debating between C and D. I probably know more about activity estimates, so that's why I chose C as more helpful in getting to a better level of accuracy. So that's why I chose C.
All right, thank you, everybody. Now let's read the question. It says a junior team member is not sure about the required level of accuracy as the project moves from rough cost estimate to definitive estimate. So for example, rough cost estimate, it has a range, right? So for example, it has a range like that varies from 1, or I would say 7, let me write it here, negative 25% to positive 75%. So this is the range. When you have definitive estimate, it is minus 5% to plus 10%. Now the question is, we are not sure what should be the level of accuracy of our project. How accurate our estimates should be, right? 100% accurate means a narrow range or a single number. definitive -5%. So we're not sure about level of accuracy, required level of accuracy. Now, contingency reserve. What is contingency reserve? It's the amount that you need for risk. It has nothing to do with the level of accuracy. We can eliminate. Cost management plan. It's a plan that contains processes, policies, procedures, and all the guidelines on how we will be managing cost. You understand, everybody? Processes, policies, information about units, information about roles and responsibilities, tools and techniques, templates, and level of accuracy. Required level of accuracy are directly documented in cost management plan, right? So just review your notes, you'll find this. So correct answer is option B. We find required level of accuracy in cost management plan. Activity estimate is actual estimate. So for example, we require for A, we need, let's suppose, $10,000. Now, this doesn't tell us the required level of accuracy. This is the actual estimate, right? So C can't be the right answer. Basis of estimate. Basis of estimate, for example, if I say I have estimated for B, we need $5,000. So what are the bases? On which basis I have calculated 5,000? So I say current prices, inflation, and transportation costs, and this. So it justifies your estimate, but it doesn't tell you the required level of accuracy, right? So correct answer is option B. Let's read the explanation. Next question. All right, probably the easiest question. Lionel, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, I remember you saying today that the product roadmap is something that's used to as a visual representation for features of a product. So that's what jumped out to me. I didn't think the product backlog, the charter, and I don't think I remember hearing you say burn down chart today. So just through process of elimination, I picked C.
All right, thank you. Okay, so since most of you have chosen option C, so yes, C is correct answer. If you read the question, it says, during a project review meeting, a stakeholder asked for a visual representation. So first, a visual representation, right? Visual representation of the product's planned feature and timeline. So features and timeline. So the only option that has features and timeline is product roadmap. So you have roadmap, something like that. If you recall that I normally draw on top, we have the timeline. Let's suppose Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June. Then you divide it in different releases, and then you map your features here, right? Now this is your roadmap. So it's visual. It has all the features along the timeline, right? Over the next few releases. So correct answer is option C. Product backlog, it is just collection of features, right? Has nothing to do with timeline. Charter, it has high level features, right? It's not a visual representation, it's a descriptive document. Burn down chart, it tracks performance or progress of your project. It tracks remaining work. So it can't be the right answer. So correct answer is option C, product roadmap. Let's read the explanation. Next question. All right, I don't see any answer. Okay, now I can see. Okay. So Has, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, see, I've been stuck between B and D. TCPI 1.3 means they have to execute something greater than what they've been executing, right? 1.3. That means how much additional effort they need to put now to complete the project, what was scheduled, right? So what was been baseline, right? So now uh, it should be executed at a higher cost performance level than previously completed project, or D. But since it says specifically 30%, if you are doing, we have to do at a 30% more than what was currently being executed. We may complete the project at the time what we have to do. So that's why I chose option D.
All right, thank you. Mohan, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, I mean, TCPI 1.3 is, the way I remember it, CPI 1 and above is good, and TCPI above 1 is bad, right? So, and schedule variance, obviously, plus 13,000 is good as well. I was a little confused on the options, but what jumped out to me was the C, which is the value of the remaining work, must be executed at a lower cost, because TCPI over 1 is bad. So yeah, so I just kind of picked randomly, but C was the best shot according to me.
All right. Thank you, Mohan, for detailed explanation. Vivek, you have chosen option B. What happened?
Really not sure. So again, I was into B and D, but with 30% like particularly mentioned over there, that's like what distracted me. It must be completed on a higher cost, but exactly the percentage that given was not sure about it.
Okay, that's why you chose option B. Okay, so quickly, I would like to explain it. So as Mohan mentioned, CPI, cost performance index, if it is greater than 1, it's good. If it is less than 1, it's bad. And TCPI, to complete performance index, is exactly opposite. If TCPI is 1, means you need to complete the project at the same cost performance level. So please pay attention. Cost performance level means CPI, right? So option A says the value of the remaining project work means remaining project work must be executed at the same CPI as the previously completed project work. So if you're already over budget, please pay attention. If you're already over budget, as in this case with TCPI, say, if you remain with the same efficiency level, you won't be able to complete the work. So TCPI 1.3 means you are already over budget. So if you stay on the same cost performance level, you won't be able to complete the project. So A can't be the right answer, right? Please pay attention. Option B, the value of the remaining project work must be executed at a higher cost performance level. So TCPI is required efficiency. Please pay attention. Due to shortage of time, I'm not going into detail. So TCPI, to complete performance index, this is required efficiency, right? In this case, required efficiency is 130%. Means if you complete your project with 130% of the cost performance, you're good. Okay, so now read the options. Option A, the value of remaining project work must be executed at the same CPI. No, same CPI is already less than 100%. You understand it? It is less than 1. That's why we have higher TCPI. So A can't be the right answer. Option B, the value of the remaining must be executed at a higher cost performance level than the previously. So previous was less than 1. Now we need higher cost performance. So B seems a good option. Option C, the value of remaining project must be executed at a lower cost. We are already behind, or we are already over budget. If we further go lower, then we won't be able to complete the project. So C also can't be the answer. Now D, the value of the remaining project work must be executed at a cost performance level that is 30%. Now, that's where question becomes trickier. 100%, if it says the value of the remaining work must be executed at a cost performance level that is 100%. So 100% means same, like before. You understand, everybody? 30% means 70% lower than before. Does it make sense, everybody? If it says 130% of the previously completed project work, it makes sense. So Has, you understand?
Yeah.
So 30%
Yeah.
means you're
More if you'd have, yeah. If it was mentioned 30% more than, I would have said, yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
If it says 30% more, then D would be the right answer. But it says 30% of the previous, means if previous was 100, now you will be proceeding with 30%. So, I mean, you can. So correct answer is option B. You can only complete this project on budget if you perform at higher CPI or higher cost performance level. So B is the right answer. Let's read the explanation. Okay, next question. All right. So Has, you have chosen option A.
Yeah, I mean, the best way is collaborate, but since, we are not able to do that, the best way is to compromise, let one of, each of them let go one of the few things from them. While force could also be a option, but, compromise would be a bit better than force because team has to decide, right? So we letting the team to decide, but we are letting few of the things to let go from each of them. So that's why I chose option A over C.
All right. Thank you, Suhas. So Vivek, you have chosen option C, which is exactly opposite to your personality. Why?
Actually, the question mentions there is no immediate resolution possible. So even if we go with the compromise route, there is no immediate solution. So compromise will not work in this case. So forcefully, one decision has to be taken. So that's why I think force could be used.
All right. All right. Thank you. Okay. So let's take one more comment. Robin, you have chosen option B.
I was confused between A and B, but then considering that the resolution, no immediate resolution without further information, that made me side on the line of collaborating. So that's why I chose B.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. So this question is from Thomas Killman Conflict Resolution Mod, where we discussed 5 strategies to handle conflicts, right? So if you recall, it is something like this. So quickly, if I explain, along the one axis, we have our cooperativeness, and along the other axis, we have assertiveness, right? Cooperativeness and assertiveness. So we have 5 different strategies. So here we collaborate, here we force, right? Here we accommodate, here we withdraw, and in the middle we have compromise. And what's happening here, it says no immediate resolution is possible. So resolution is not possible right now, means you can't reach a consensus. So collaboration is not possible, right? It's clearly saying immediate resolution is not possible, so collaboration would not help here, right? Even if you collaborate, what would happen? No immediate resolution is possible without further information. You understand, everybody? If collaboration is possible, then just find a solution. So B can't be the right answer. Now, compromise. Compromise is a lose-lose situation. Like you come to a resolution where you have some level of, satisfaction, some level of satisfaction to both the parties, or some level of dissatisfaction, or some level of sacrifice by all the parties involved. But we are not able to find a resolution until we have more information. Means we are stuck. So when you are stuck, when you don't have any option, when there is no resolution, you need further information to make a decision, then what you do withdrawal. And what is withdrawal? Withdrawal is a temporary retreat from the dispute. So temporarily, you will stop everything, you will wait for the further information, and then you will find a long-term solution. So withdrawal is a short-term relief, right? You de-escalate, you wait for the more information, and then you make a decision, right? So compromise, no, we won't be doing that. Collaboration is not possible. Force is also not possible because there is no indication one party is powerful and other party is weak. So force is applied or direction is applied where we have imbalance. So there is no such indication. The correct answer is withdrawal, or we will avoid the conflict. We will wait for further information, and then we will find permanent or long-term solution. So D is right. Let's read the explanation. So it's appropriate because it allows time for the situation to de-escalate and for additional information to be gathered, right? So withdrawal involves temporarily stepping back from the conflict to let emotions cool down and to gather more facts or data before addressing the issue again, right? Next question. All right, Mohan, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the lack of emotional intelligence because that's, active listening. It's EQ and IQ combined, right? So basically, the issue here is that the team member seems unaware of the negative impact of the behavior which he or she has on the group, right? So it eliminates the option A, which is growth mindset, agreeableness, which is a B, and lack of active listening, which is different, in terms of technique. So that's why it's hard to see might be the best option.
All right, thank you. Let's talk to Lela. Lela, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, so he keeps interrupting the group, right? And he's not aware of his behavior. It's not like lack of growth mindset, so that's nothing to do with that. Level of agreeableness. He's not even aware that he's being acting like this. So it's definitely lack of emotional intelligence. Active listening is when you rephrase, you confirm with the opposite side of the, team. So that's also eliminated. That's why I went with C. I think it's the lack of emotional intelligence.
All right, thank you. Robin, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, my thoughts are much the same as what has just been explained. I can't really see the other three fitting in. So that's why I chose option C.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Now let's read it. So, as a product manager, you need to address the issue. What's the most likely cause of this team member's behavior? So, what's happening? Consistent interruptions, dismissing others' ideas without concentration, and seems unaware of the negative impact. So, dismissing ideas without concentration, this could also be lack of active listening, means we're not listening what others are saying. But question has more information, like being unaware. We're not aware, like we lack social awareness. Social awareness is one of the elements of emotional intelligence, right? So correct answer is lack of emotional intelligence or lack of social awareness, right? Why other options are incorrect? Growth mindset means a mindset that is fixed, which does not learn, right? Which does not develop, right? So there is no indication like we are not learning or there is no development. Low level of agreeableness, yes, there is an element of it, but it doesn't address the overall picture, like you are unaware, right? So B can't be the right, and lack of active listening, I have already explained it. Correct answer is lack of social awareness or emotional intelligence. Let's read the explanation. All right, everybody, thank you so much. We are done with today's session. So just put your score in the chat window, everybody. 50%, 40%, 60%, 40%, 60, 40, 60, 40. Okay, 150. Right. Okay, so again, 50%. Good. As long as you're getting 50%, if 50% is a good score, anything less than 50% means you need to go back and you need to review the content, right? 50% or more than 50%. Some of you have 60%. Wonderful. You're on the right track. I can see a lot of improvement in your score. So please continue. Also, my next course is starting on September 7th. So you can share this detail with your friends and colleagues, and especially people who are watching on YouTube. You can get more detail by texting here. All right, everybody, take good care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow with an interesting lesson. We conduct this class every day, Monday to Friday at 9 p.m. EST, right? Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.